And on the spotlight today, UK-based Nigerian filmmaker Tosin Akintokun, the producer of the documentary Keeping It Real Nollywood, speaks on her new cinematic feature, What Happened at St. James.
I don't know what is going on in this school. The police will soon be all over the place. How do we tell them?
Poor representation of African stories and an intent to change the narrative turns out to be enough inspiration to propel UK-based Nigerian legal practitioner Tosin Akintokun into filmmaking.
Either the hunter or you're the prey.
You're asking me, come and check now. I didn't like what I was seeing on screen in terms of the representation of Nigeria, well, Africa as a whole. We're not just about hungry children showing on the CNN news where there's flies. I didn't like that. I saw there's so much more we're doing, and it's not being showcased. And I thought, why sit there and complain? Why don't you do something and then, bring it on screen? In terms of, why not there? Well, if I'm going to utilize resources, if I'm going to give people an opportunity to work on a project and earn, I'll do it in my country. So that way I'm helping people, I'm helping the workforce. It's all about helping the workforce, helping somebody that might not even have a means to survive. Say, come on this project and work with me, not for me. Work with me. Let's do something together, and you'll be able to pay them. So it's kind of, you're bringing those resources, you're bringing your skills and resources and the funds back to your soil to help and make things better. When I started, I came to Lagos with one interview bagged. So I spoke to a friend who is an actor within the industry, and I said, I wanted to do this series. Just talk to me about what you do and how you're finding the industry. And when I came, she liked it, and she spoke to a few of her friends. And from that, I had about 6 or 7 interviews. So with one camera person, my mic and lights, I interviewed about 6, 7 people, and I put it into some sort of mini series, took it back and presented it to some channels in the UK, and they liked the idea, and that's how it started. So no prior knowledge in filmmaking when I started my documentary series, but when I then started to evolve in my craft, so to say, and I thought, oh, I wanted to do some sort of story that I'd been thinking about, I decided to go to film school. So I went to Met Film School and I studied a course in filmmaking just to get my head around the basics that you need to know if you want to produce content, you want to produce a feature film or a short film or some sort of story. So I did then, that's when I went and I did obviously complete that course, and that's how I kind of got my background knowledge for filmmaking.
Her directorial movie, What Happened at St. James, which is her first feature film in Nollywood, has received impressive reviews, although she initially had fears of a tepid audience reception amidst some production challenges.
You're coming into a market that is set with already people that are already doing the job. So you're seen as an outsider automatically. You're not part of the norm of what they have, the known faces they have producing and the actors and actresses. So you're basically coming in with your story. So number one, you have to make sure you have something good to showcase to everyone. So even though you might not make your maybe hundreds of millions from your first story, but at least let people see that there's something different that you're bringing into the industry. So the challenges for me were in terms of shooting. Obviously, I had a budget set in mind, but then that budget kind of changed with some challenges. The actors that featured in my movie were really good. I'm really grateful to all of them. They were really, really beautiful set of people to work with. They loved the story. They loved the fact that it was different from what you have out there in terms of what Nollywood churns out. And it's a story that would connect to you, it's very different, and they like that. So they really sold into that vision with me, and they really put their all into the production. So in terms of the other challenges is obviously now bringing my film to the market. You have to, the Nigerian audience is very difficult to please because they've seen it all, they've heard it all. So what are you actually bringing that is going to be very different? So That has been quite challenging, but I'm really grateful that it's a good story. So the reviews have been amazing for what happened at St. James. I mean, Cinema Pointer is kind of the harshest critics in the industry these days, you know, in Nollywood now. And he actually, you know, gave my film a mild recommendation and he liked it. So that is encouraging for me. In addition to that, so many reviews have been coming in for St. James. People have been touched in so many different ways. A lot of the comments are that this doesn't look like a Nollywood movie. It's very different and we like that. It's totally unpredictable. You don't know where we're taking you as you watch your film until you get to the end and then you see where we're taking you, and people love that. What happened at St. James is a personal story that I kind of made into a script, and then it developed into a film. And I always tell the story that my mother was a teacher. She worked for so many years before she passed on, and she kind of used to always talk about the sacrifices made by teaching staff to the lives of children, but those sacrifices are they're never really appreciated. And she told me about a particular experience that she encountered in one of the schools that she taught, and I never really got a chance to ask her whether that was real or not, and she passed on. And after she passed on, I thought, there's something in this story, and that kind of worked. You know, I started thinking about it, and then I started building it into something I wanted to do in terms of bringing it to screen. So it's very important for storytelling for you to connect to what you're bringing out to the audience.
If you do nothing, you will feel guilty for the rest of your life.
Shut up, woman. Shut up.
What I really desire in this industry is for everyone to have a level playing field. Let's all bring up films out on a level playing field without having, you know, what you have in productions is that some other people would have all the big backings within the industry, the big names that you as a new filmmaker might not have. So that makes a lot of difference in, like, you getting your show times and things like that. There's a lot of, you know, it's complicating. And I don't want to use the word politics, but, you know, you kind of get that feel that you're seen more as an outsider, and that sometimes has an impact on how many people get to see what you're bringing in, regardless of whether it's a good, you know, regardless of the fact that it's a very good story. So it's still a journey that we are in Nigeria, but it's very important to encourage people that want to come in, because there's so much of what we have is amazing. It's an industry there's still so much potential. If someone wants to come in with a sci-fi movie, a horror movie, a thriller, a comedy, let's have an even playing field for everyone. Let's be able to bring in our stories, and let's have the encouragement, even for those that are in the industry already. And that way we're going to grow like we have in Hollywood now, where anyone can just shoot something with a camcorder, and if it's good, you can even, you know, win an Oscar or something. I think we're getting there, but it's just that there's still a lot of work to do.
While the Nigerian film industry is growing so fast, Tosin believes there is a need for more improvement in the genre of stories told.
Grip, don't you understand? You might look at me dead in the eyes. Call our names.
Femi.